Everyone to another live session here for TMF, and tonight TMF stands for Truckmount Fires. I've heard it called a lot of things, but I've never thought about Truckmount Fires until I saw the video actually that I found on the internet, where you probably saw a truck mount that caught on fire. The guy said he was inside of a house and he was in there and he was cleaning the house, and he noticed that he had lost suction. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up on my computer here so I can follow along with the questions. Anyway, he had noticed that he had lost suction. And when he lost suction, he realized that he had to go outside and check out, see what's going on. We've all had that happen, right? So he runs outside. What's up, Brian? How you doing, bud? So he runs outside to figure out what's going on. When he gets out there, he sees his truck is on fire. Unfortunately, it's a little close to the house. So what does it do? It catches the house on fire also. Ouch. What's up, Daniel? How you doing, man? So that's what I want to talk about, Truckmount Fires. And I'm also going to give away that free container of BioPro, because somebody sent that back. I had the last contest I gave it away. It was scratched up. I told people that, listen, when a label gets jacked up, sometimes that's just what I'll do, you know. So please bear with me on that. Anyway, I'm going to help you analyze why fires happen in truck mounts, what you can do to prevent them, and what you can do if it does happen. Okay? So we'll definitely go over that. Good evening. Hey, how's it going, Elmo? How you doing, bud? Robert, how's it going, pal? I'm going to try to keep up with this the best I can on my computer and talk about this for a bit. But anyway, back to the BioPro 10K. I'm sorry, sometimes labels get messed up. When they do, I like to just give them away as a contest, and it's free shipping too. So I'll give it away again tonight, but please don't send it back. If you don't want it, let me know ahead of time. All right? So I'll wait for a few people to come in here. I see we almost got 30 people in here right now. Need to swing by and get some BioPro to test it out. Yeah, Brian, no doubt about it, pal. Come on by. We'll have a beer if it's after hours, of course. So anyway, Truckmount Fires. That's probably, one of the biggest nightmares for carpet cleaners, because you have worked your, brains out practically to go ahead and afford a truck mount and a van. Sometimes you can have $70,000 or $75,000 invested in it, right? And you go outside and it's on fire. And God knows you should hopefully park far enough away from the house that you don't catch the house on fire too. Okay? But there are some things we can do to prevent that from happening. So that's basically I want to talk about it. Come on down to the UK. The UK sounds great to me, my man. I'm glad you can hear me. Hope everybody can hear me well. Anyway, I want to try to take a hot topic, no pun intended, fires tonight. And maybe any evening I have time, I'd like to pick up a hot topic that we've been talking about and break it down and shed some light on it and hopefully help others in the future. That's the game plan, right? We're all here, iron sharpens iron. We're all trying to make each other better. And when you have a fire, nothing's better. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh my laptop, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. By refreshing it, I can see any fresh questions that have popped up and take it from there. Here we go. Get some over in the UK. Yeah, no doubt about it, Daniel. I'm sure you guys got some good beer over in the UK, right? And from Serbia, too. Awesome, man. Glad to have you there. Okay, so talking about Truckmount Fires for a minute. Wow, it sounds so much like Truckmount Forums, doesn't it? First thing I want to talk about is make sure, more than anything else, make sure you're well insured. I mean, come on, think about it, you guys. Do not shortcut on insurance. And now, however, I don't cover any insurance. I don't do any insurance. My wife takes care of all the insurance. She's the one who handles all of our insurance needs. I'm very blessed to have somebody like her behind me. And I will say, I'm not sure, but I think you have to have marine land insurance, something of that nature. But call your carrier. Call your carrier and find out what the insurance is that you need to have to be able to cover not just your truck, but also the contents. And something cool you want to remember about a truck mount, it's bolted in. So in a lot of cases, it's actually part of the truck. So I want to make sure that you understand that. You want to make sure that it's covered completely, because last thing you want to do, and also a rental. A lot of times rentals are covered also. Let's see who's saying that. What's up, Henderson? How you doing, man? Glad to have you here. So, you want to make sure you have enough insurance to cover the machine, to cover the van, and also to be able to make sure that you can go ahead. It's inland machine insurance, somebody said. Make sure the unit's also covered. because sometimes she'll be a separate item instead of part of the vehicle. But Jeff, isn't it the case if it's bolted in, then it's part of the vehicle? That's the argument. I had a fire one time too. And I'll tell you about that experience a little bit later. Hey, how's it going, Kyle? I'll tell you about the experience that I had with a fire later on. Very, very unusual circumstance and what happened, and a couple other experiences of people that I've talked to throughout the industry through the years of what's happened to them also. All right, so number one, of course, is, like I said up here, make sure you're well insured. Call your carrier if in doubt. Make sure you're completely covered. Another thing, too, is a good idea to have theft. Somebody steals your truck, you want to make sure that truck is covered. All right, so back to the fires. Number two, you want to maintain your trucks. I've seen some trucks that look pretty shabby. Hey, what's up, man? Glad to have you. This is Victor Smith from Jacksonville. Good to have you, Victor. Appreciate you tuning in. So anyway, if you think about it, you want to make sure that your truck is well maintained. And where do fires generally start? Inside of trucks. Generally, it's some type of fuel problem, right? Or some type of overheating problem. So keep your truck extremely well maintained. You know, an ounce of prevention, worth a pound of cure. So last thing you want to do is have some type of issue going on with your truck. You neglected it. Maybe if it's got, 300,000 miles on it or 200,000 miles, maybe it's time to get rid of that old truck. Because it's probably not worth the headaches and the heartaches that it's going to deliver as it starts to break down on you. Okay, number three is you want to maintain your truck mount. I mean, that almost seems like a no-brainer, but I know all of us get busy at times. We're out there sweating bullets. We're doing 1, 2, and 3, sometimes 4 jobs a day, and we're trying to make as much money as possible. And when you're doing that, a lot of times you can lose sight of the fact that you need to maintain your truck mounts. You need to clean your filters. You need to, especially your fuel filters need to be changed. You want to make sure all your hoses are hooked up, because then again, here we are, back to electrical items, back to wiring items. That's probably the two main culprits, besides what we're going to talk about with fuels here in a couple of minutes, that cause truck mount fires. So keep it well maintained. If you're not mechanically inclined, get a mechanic or find a local Interlink dealer or something of that nature and have a good relationship with them and keep that truck mount maintained and in good shape. All right, that's the top 3 things right there. Number 4, yeah, maintenance is extremely important, isn't it? No doubt about it, Brian. I agree with you. Sorry, man, the print is really small on my phone, so just want to mention that to you. All right, number 4 is keep your truck clean. I mean, that really should be a no-brainer. I've always said, if you are a carpet cleaner and you come to somebody's house and you can't keep your own house clean or you can't keep your own truck clean, can you really clean a customer's house? Perhaps, but in their mind, it's all about perception. They come out there and they see that truck and it's all ratty looking. They don't think that something's going on. Getting sponsorship on that drink? No, I can't say I am. It's just some dog head. I love some IPAs. If you come to Virginia Beach, definitely come to Virginia Beach. And we can go here. We got some really nice breweries real close, within a mile of our shop here, okay? All right, so back to keeping the truck clean. I'm not saying you can't clean a house, but it's all about perception. If a customer comes out and sees your house your truck all dirty and ratty, she's going to think that you are dirty and ratty too, or that maybe you can't do a proper job in her house, even though you're capable of it. But the danger is, a lot of times you get inside of trucks and these guys are eating in there, they're putting paper everywhere, it gets to a hot spot or a muffler or something like that, sparks a fire. Or, God forbid, if you're a smoker or something of that nature, you put a cigarette down, you get all that trash in there, and then boom, you have an issue. So make sure that you keep your truck nice and clean. Here's another thing that can happen. You ever reeled your hoses up before, and it gets back and it hits the exhaust on the muffler? I've had that happen. When it hits that muffler, it can burn it. So if you've got items sitting in the back of your truck, and you're loading your truck up before you leave, and something hits that exhaust, you could have a fire. So definitely be really careful. Keep your truck nice and clean. So the first 4 over here are what? Keep it well insured. A lot of people do work right out of their trucks, no doubt about it. Off to work and have a good weekend. You too, man, Brian. Maintain your trucks. Maintain your truck mount. Keep your truck clean. All right, so what's the other 4 things? The next 4 things are, this is where probably some of the biggest issues come in, and you really got to be careful. Yeah, you don't want a rat nasty inside of your truck, do you? Yeah, that's definitely a negative moment of truth. Right, Matt? Yeah, I couldn't agree more there. So anyway, we're going to talk about propane for a minute. Propane can be very safe, but propane can be also very dangerous. Let's think about it. There's a former cleaner here on our group that posts quite a bit. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to make him feel bad or anything, but he wasn't maintaining his Truckmount propane system properly. And what happened to him? Well, I guess it's his uniter or burner or whatever it is on propanes. I don't really use propanes. But something got stuck open and it was leaking propane inside of his truck. And he didn't realize it. So he goes to start it up, and when he does, boom! Gets this big explosion. Burned all his eyebrows off, burned off part of his hair, smoked his face a little bit. He was really cooked. All right? And plus, it did all kinds of damage, too. Get my first live shout out. There you go. All right, Matt. What's up, man? Anytime, brother. But sometimes that print's small, so don't get worried if I don't mention your name sometimes when I'm looking at this because it's so far away the way I've got the camera set up and it's on my phone and doing a live video. So anyway, getting back to him, he did not maintain his propane system properly. And what happens? He ended up, that's right, just burned his eyebrows right off, smoked his face. Probably had to change his drawers too, if I'm not mistaken, probably. If you think about it, I'm sure it scared him. He said, no, it lasted for a second. It was just a big boom, and flames went everywhere practically, and then it just subsided. But just imagine, a lot of people don't know this. Did you know a propane tank, a portable one, is equivalent to 5 sticks of dynamite? Just think about that for a little bit. 5 sticks of dynamite. I used to think about that when I used to take a propane burnisher and walk through grocery stores. What's up, Richie? How you doing, man? Appreciate you tuning in, brother. And so, anyway, I would always be pushing those propane buffers. I'd be polishing the floors inside of grocery stores. And talk about staying clean. Did you know that they did a survey that 90 to 95% of a grocery store's appearance comes from their floors? I never knew that. Let's see, it happened to me. I just burnt my arm hair. Mike said, ouch. Ouch. See, it does happen. You got to be careful with propane and diesel too. I'm not saying it's good stuff, but you got to be careful. What's up, Christopher? So just be really careful when you're working around different fuels. Now, I'm going to say this too. I'm not a fan of propane tanks sitting inside of your truck. I'm a fan of belly tanks. Much safer. And have them maintained at least every 6 months or once a year. You can go to maybe some type of shop that sells propane, I don't know, and have it definitely tuned up, serviced. Make sure it's all in top condition. Yeah, no doubt about it. Safety first. Could not agree more. Safety is so doggone important. Okay, so now that covers propane. Just make sure the system's in good shape. Make sure it's operating properly. Make sure you've maintained it. Make sure you don't have a bunch of trash around it. And also make sure that I prefer using a belly tank instead of a tank. What's up, Angelo? Appreciate it, man. Happy Friday to you too also. I think it's a better idea to have a belly tank. That's almost a proven fact. RVs, all those things basically have them also. So very important. Okay, our next point is diesel. What about diesel fuel? You know, diesel fuel is not easy to light. But however, once you get it lit, I'm telling you what, it's some of the most efficient heat. Kind of like propane, but it's still, I think it's a little more efficient heat than propane. So when it comes to diesels, I know that they have igniters. I believe they have igniters, something wrong, maybe that's the propane. But they have an igniter or they have burners, and you want to make sure those stay clean. It would be a good idea to maybe find a heating and air conditioning person in your place, or more likely a pressure washing place in your area. Burner was heavy. Okay, I got you. So you want to make sure that all these components are working properly. If you're not operating or keeping this diesel system clean and working properly, then you could have some problems. It's a good idea maybe to have some sensors or keep an eye on your system. If you notice you're getting a ton of heat and you got temperature gauges, go ahead and cut that machine off, man. Don't let it just keep on going. Cut that burner off there, okay? It's Saturday there. Oh, Matt Williamson. I guess you're on the other side of the planet, Matt. All right, man. My bust. So anyway, you want to make sure that that diesel is really nice and functioning clean. Use good quality diesel. I know some people use kerosene. Might even be a better bet. Kerosene burns cleaner, right? But I know a lot of pressure wash guys use burners. So if you don't have a local dealer and you bought some type of diesel burning machine, go to a pressure washing place. They can help you maintain it, keep it in good shape, spend the money. As I said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Fuel heat systems need to be maintained. Amen to that, Brian. We sure know that, don't we? Hey, Brian, what happened on that system? You said it basically kind of got stuck and it kept getting fuel. And the more fuel it got on this one diesel system, it just kept getting hotter and hotter. He went and cut the system off. Have a safety switch on there. Okay? Definitely have a safety switch on there. And it almost goes without saying, make sure you have some fire extinguishers on your truck. Every single one of my trucks have fire extinguishers on them. Everywhere inside my shop, I've got fire extinguishers. You need to have fire extinguishers on hand so you can put out a fire. If it's small, get to it right away. And as I said earlier, as we noticed in that little video that was on the Facebook group for Truckmount Forums, you noticed that when the fire started, the truck was a little close to the house, caught the house on fire too. So you ended up with two sets of problems. You don't want that going on, okay? So that covers 6 of them. Well insured, maintain your truck mounts, maintain your trucks, keep the truck clean, don't keep it ratty on the inside. Beer o'clock, what are you drinking? I'm drinking some Doghead 60-minute IPA, my friend. Come here to Virginia Beach. We got some cool places over here. Anybody wants to have a beer? You know, feel free. Flow switch. Flow switch needs to be working correctly. That's it, Brian. Thank you. I appreciate that. But remember, we've got some couple cool breweries over here in Virginia Beach. If you come to Virginia Beach, feel free to check out our school, our shop here at Truckmount Forums, and we can go over and have a beer for lunch or for dinner. Probably dinner. Okay, what do we got here? Carry 5-pound extinguishers on both trucks and 20-pound in the shop. A must-have. I agree with you, Robert. Wow, man. No doubt about it. Talk about a negative moment of truth. You know, NMOTs. You're trying to reduce NMOTs and raise PMOTs, right? Positive moments of truth. Let me tell you what. Your truck's on fire out in the driveway, and it's catching your house on fire too. That is a serious, serious negative moment of truth. So make sure you have those under control. And then, of course, I mentioned the propane. Keep your system clean and working right. And then I mentioned diesel. You want to make sure that's working properly also. Now, number 7 is heat exchangers. You might think, well, I don't think heat exchangers can catch on fire. Yes, they can. If your sensors aren't working correctly, or your truck is not working correctly, you can build up a lot of heat inside there. And if you've got something around it and grab a hold of it, catch it on fire, it can catch on fire. So if you're noticing some super high heat spikes, okay, inside of your carpet cleaning, when you're cleaning inside the house, go out and cool the system down or cut it down as fast as possible. What do we got here? Insurance too, must have it. Yeah, Brian, that was my number 1, Brian. Well insured. I know you're late to the party, my man. But number 1 was to be well insured, and call your carrier and make sure you're well insured. So it is a misnomer for people to think that heat exchanger machines do not catch on fire. Whenever you're working with high pressure, you're working with high heat, you always have the possibility of a fire. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, keep your smell open. You smell something burning, electrical, or something of that nature, don't put it off. You know, if something doesn't seem right, trust your gut. Examine it. Go get the truck looked at, or look at it yourself. Cool things down. Make sure you know that hoses. You know what? When you're putting a lot of things inside of your truck, even with heat exchanger systems, suppose you're doing this. Suppose you've got our TMF courtesy door, you've got a wand, you've got a carpet rake, something of that nature, a carpet groomer rake, and you go to set aside the truck and it's hitting wires, or maybe it's hitting hoses if you're not careful, maybe a fuel line. What happens then? Boom, you can hit that fuel line and you can pop it open, you can hit some exhaust, or the engine, you got an explosion, or you got a fire. You know, so your worst nightmare can happen, but most of the time, if not all the time, it can be prevented. Umbrella policy for personal protection. Yes, Robert, I'm glad you said that, because my wife carries a couple of different umbrella policies for all our different companies. And myself, she carries $1 million policy on me. So if I'm dumb enough to blow myself up by the truck, she can be well taken care of. She'd drink today if she was here. So I know there's a few people out there who don't like me. So if anything happens to me, she's $1 million richer. Just kidding, guys. sort of. You got to have a little humor in life, right? Okay, all right. So the last point is I'm going to talk about experiences. I know, right? That is funny. The last thing I'm going to talk about is experiences. You know, I've already mentioned the one guy who was using the propane. It blew up on him. Boom, blew right up in his face. Titans are very popular and notorious for the heat exchangers. Nate Howard said, getting stuck in that position. Check the bolt on the diverter arm daily. From experience. 2 machines have the problem now. Yay. There we go again, right? We're talking about keeping the truck and the system, especially your truck mount, in good operating working condition. And check it out. You're right. I don't know. Does yours work on vacuum pods, Nate? The diverter, or is it manual, or is it vacuum operated, or is it heat operated? I'm not sure on the Hydromasters. I know how they work on mine and the old White Magics. They had little pods on them, and they're little vacuum pods, kind of like the ones that worked with headlights. You know how your headlights will pop up on some of the old cars, and they were vacuum pods. That's another little tip. If you have a old vacuum pod machine, you can go have one. Go to the auto parts store, buy a vacuum pod, and modify it and make it fit right onto something because what happens once it gets to a certain heat, it'll open up the vacuum, and the vacuum will pull back the spring, which will open up the pod, which will allow the hot water to release by. So something to keep in mind there. But that's a good point. I'm going to keep that in mind about the Titans, Nathan. I appreciate that point. All right, now I'm going to tell you about a fire that happened to one of our guys. I had a truck that probably maybe had 150,000 miles on it, domestic van. You know, I figured it was a decent amount of miles, but let's face it. At that time, when I first got started, we were probably running, I don't know, 4 jobs at least a day, sometimes maybe 5. But now the type of quality work that we do now as we've progressed and matured, the most we can generally do is 3 jobs in a day. Let's see. No claims yet. That's good, Brandon. Anyway, I had one claim, and I'm going to tell you about the claim that I had. I was actually... I had 4 or 5 trucks back in the 90s, and I had one of my guys out cleaning. I get a phone call from the fire department, and they said, "Is this Mr. Allen?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "Are you the owner?" I said, "Yes." They said, "We need you to come out because one of your employees, his van caught on fire on the interstate." And I said, "I thought that was kind of odd that that it caught on fire on the interstate." And so basically I went ahead and I prodded him. I said, "Okay, what happened? Can you tell me real quick what happened? Is he okay?" He said, "He's kind of okay." I said, "What does that mean, he's kind of okay?" He said, "Well, he kind of soiled his clothes." I know that sounds terrible, but I'm going to tell you why he soiled his clothes. And he asked me to bring some fresh clothes. Wow. So anyway, he was going down the road, and 55, 60 miles an hour, what the speed limit was on the interstate there. And the rear axle, it actually broke off on one side. The rim comes off, and he's just swirling across the interstate. But little did he know there were sparks coming from the axle. Those sparks actually caught the truck on fire. Onlooker said that he was just sitting there, and he was had his head on the steering wheel, just happy he didn't get in an accident and die. And they all ran up, "Look, your van's on fire, your van's on fire." By the time he got out and moved away from it, the van exploded. And it charred, and I mean it went practically to the ground. So I was thinking to myself, hey man, I got insurance. Throw a couple marshmallows and hot dogs on that thing, right? Let it burn all the way so I get reimbursed, because I don't want something just slightly charred, so to speak. But long story short is, I don't remember hearing any noises from the axle. But maybe the axle, because all the weight I was carrying, I think I was running a 1500 at that time. So, most truck mount installers now recommend at least a 2500 or preferably a 3500, depending on what type of truck you're running. So I think it's really important to make sure you've got a truck that's strong enough to be able to support the weight you're carrying and not putting too much stress on the rear end, because the rear ends and the brakes are generally much more heavier duty the higher you go up and the poundage and the rating of the truck. Love the alkaline rinse. A lot of compliments. Thanks, Brandon. My guys love it too, man. I appreciate that a lot. And so anyway, the axle broke on one side, caused a fire, and before I got there, Apparently his parents had picked him up. And I called him to get his paycheck, and he had then moved to a relative to a whole other state. I guess he thought I was going to be mad. Little did he know, I realized I had full insurance, so I really wouldn't have minded too much. But it's just a crazy thing. It wasn't his fault, but it probably scared him to death, too, on top of it. I can only imagine. You're driving your boss's truck. You've only been working there for a week or two. Axle breaks. Whole thing burns down. I'll tell you what, he must have thought he's got a black cloud falling, right? I haven't heard from him since. He's a nice guy, too. Shame. Yeah, the alkaline rinse, we really worked hard, Brandon, to come up with that alkaline rinse. Oh, hey, I will say that we had to fight the insurance company. I think we had to contest them. A lot of people don't know. You don't have to accept what they say. In some circumstances, I know a couple of times we've had some insurance claims. We've had to contest the claims, or you go before the state board, the insurance board, or something like that. And most of the times, just saying you go before the state board, you can get a better claim. So remember, you're usually covered for a rental car, a rental vehicle, or maybe even a rental truck mount, some rental equipment. They'll replace your equipment. They'll replace your truck. But you got to make sure you have the proper insurance. Talk to your carrier and make sure you stress. And they understand, that carrier understands the type of equipment, the type of work that you're doing, and make sure that you're 100% covered. Okay, I think I've rambled on enough here. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to go ahead and give away this BioPro. I thought that was kind of odd that, it had a tour label. I told people that when I give away as prizes, a lot of times it's give them away as free if you don't mind. The labels are tore up, but I have a little semi-label we put on our samples. I put it right on there so you can still read the label, okay, to a certain degree. So in a minute, I'm just going to do something like maybe take my phone. I'm going to go back through here like my son does and just kind of roll it up and touch it with my finger and see who won. We have that same color jacket. Yeah, I love these jackets, Pablo. They breathe and stuff like that. Really nice and comfortable. I think it goes good with our company shirts. Take this off here and see the shirt. Yeah. Goes good with the company shirts. Yeah, blue kind of picks up the blue. That's under the arms. Yep, no pits there. That's good. Okay. So it picks that up, we like to use, embroidery, so it gives it a nice look. Always great advice. I appreciate that, Carlton. No problem, bud. Hope you and your family are doing well, my man. So, I just can't overemphasize I couldn't believe how busy that thread was about the fires. As a matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do is, in every opportunity I get, let's see who's this here. Brian Reed. What's up, Brian? Good afternoon to you too, bud. You must be in California or something because it's 7 o'clock here at Virginia Beach. But what I'm going to do is, whenever we have a hot topic, like fires, Truckmount Fires, I'm going to go ahead and maybe address those at the end of the day when I have some time. I'm just relaxing around the shop. Maybe my wife's touching up some paperwork or something of that nature. So I think it'd be kind of cool to grab a hot topic. So if you get these hot topics, I think they're kind of cool. We can kind of go out on them a little bit. It's getting hot in here. Amen to that, right? Imagine how hot it's getting inside of a truck that's on fire. Ouch. Hey, you know what? I just remembered. I had another experience where I had a truck catch on fire, but I caught it. I had my fire extinguisher, so that was good. I had I think a wire broke loose near the battery. And, oh yeah, I got one more thing to tell you too. You got to be careful of. I'm glad it came to my mind. Anyway, a wire came loose, and it crossed another wire, and it caught something on fire inside the truck. It's more of an electrical fire. It started burning, but then it started turning to a real fire. Grabbed my fire extinguisher, hit it, boom, had it out really fast. So I think that's really good. You want to make sure you get those fires out as soon as possible if you do have a fire. Like I said, it's probably a carpet cleaner's worst nightmare to be having a fire inside your truck when you've invested so much money. Yeah, it's definitely 5 o'clock somewhere. Isn't that true? What's up, Sade? How you doing, man? SoCal. So Charles is in SoCal. So the other experience I want to mention, this is another thing too. Some truck mounts, I know that the Legends that we run, the Legend GTs, they're notorious for rear main seals or rear oil seals going out on them, and they're leaking oil. So I think it's really important to make sure you take the time and go ahead and make sure you take care of that oil and keep that oil up to date, okay, and clean that thing up really good. Let's see. It looks like I might have been interrupted. Can everybody see me okay still? I want to make sure that this wasn't interrupted, but it said here on my phone that I was interrupted. Okay, looks like it's going all right. Oh, anyway, take the time. What's up, Colby? All right, appreciate that. Cody, that is. Loving team up here in Michigan. Thanks, brother. Appreciate having you. So make sure that you wipe your truck down, wipe the oil down, keep it insured, maintain your truck mount, keep your truck clean. You don't have a bunch of garbage stuff laying around here, catch on fire. Maybe don't smoke in your truck if you could. If you got a propane system, keep that system clean, operating properly, and in good shape. Same thing with a diesel. Make sure your burner, your fire, all that is working properly. Keep it in good shape. Keep it serviced. If you got a heat exchanger machine, keep items away that can catch on the fire, like hoses, different things of that nature, hitting things. And then just remember, there's a lot of us who have experiences out here, just like that last guy who we saw. I'm not going to mention his name. He was a good guy, though. Appreciate that, Brian. Hey, Brian, have there been any interruptions at all so far? Because my phone said a couple interruptions a couple times. Yep. Does that mean interruptions, Charles? Well, here's the cool thing. I've got it. I've got it recording separately, so I can go ahead and still put it back on here in its full glory, so to speak. So that's cool. Separate recording going on. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close out, guys. Hey, somebody said none. Who is that? Kevin Brown. Cool. No interruptions. It might just be my phone over here, so that's cool. Glad to hear that. Brandon said no interruptions. Charles McGuire, were you saying there were interruptions? Saludos. Hey, what's up, Ozzo? Good to see you, man. Yeah, so Truckmount Fires. Sounds like Truckmount Forums, doesn't it? TMFers. Yeah, all right. So anyway, I appreciate everybody's support. You got to give the BioPro away. So if you're here, you have to be here. If I'm going to do these things, I think you have to be here for it. And you got 15 minutes. Nope, no interruptions here. Awesome, Brian. Appreciate that. You got to be here. I'm going to give this away. Don't forget, if you can support us, remember we've got three of the top pre-sprays in the whole industry. We've got the Secret Formula, which is basically just a free and clear version, which is still very strong, very powerful, fantastic for polyesters. We've got a spike version, which has some grout master of this, and then which is basically oxidizer based on top of it. And then we've got enzyme based, which is our BioPro, which is basically a full out nuclear product. You're on fire today, right? No pun intended, right? So anyway, I'm going to give a thing away, BioPro, and I appreciate everybody's support. Remember, we're a father and son team. I've worked hard. My son and I both have for 10 years. You know, we've got over 300 videos on YouTube, over like a couple million views. On truckmountforums.com, we've almost got 2 million posts over there where you can go over there and study any information that you want to. Got to try that spike. Heard nothing about good. I appreciate that, man. I think you'll love it. Listen, don't underestimate the Secret Formula. Just a free and clear. Do not underestimate it. It's really good to have, to be able to let clients know you've got a really safe, good product you can be using inside of their homes. And it'll clean most carpets. But when you need something for the rat nasties, the Section 8s, the oilies, or the really bad polyesters, don't be afraid to move into the spiked or into the BioPro. Well, speaking of BioPro, let's go ahead and get it closed out here. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can take my little computer here or my phone and pick out a name. Let's see here. On my computer, it's not allowing me to go right through everybody's names until you close this out. We're not kill everything with fire, no pun intended. Let's see, how can I do this? If I cut my phone off, I'll lose my thing there. Going to be interesting. Let's see if I could do this here. I know what I can do. Yep, move this down. I'm going to take my glasses off so you see my eyes are closed, okay, when I push this here. So give me a second. Gonna pop over here, get to it. Here we go. Excellent, here we go. Cool, I was able to pull this up. Only on the phones. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to close my eyes. I want to make sure I got about 50 names here. Alright, here it goes. Hey, I don't even have to close my eyes. I'm practically blind my eyes with my glasses off. Okay, here we go. Closing my eyes. picking one. Put my glasses on. See what name I came up with here. Oh my gosh. Of all people? No, I'm just kidding. Tommy Terry, you want it, my man. Tommy Terry, you in here? Tommy Terry won the BioPro. What do you know? I mean, this guy, man, he puts up a lot of pictures already. And what are the odds? Here, I'm going to turn this around here on my computer. And you see for yourself. I put my finger right there towards the top. And it's Tommy Terry. Next time I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have another phone here. And when I do, I'll scroll through the phone and push the button or put my finger on it just like Trey does with that up there. Let's see. You should be there too, Trey. Yep, Trey should be in here. No doubt about it, man. Nah, he's taking care of his grandson. You know, he's got a I'm sorry, my grandson, his son. He's got a 14-year-old, so he's taking care of him. So Tommy, are you here, man? I'd like you to go ahead, if you're here, Tommy, to go ahead and get your free thing of BioPro. I don't think Tommy's going to mind if the label's messed up, especially since he's used BioPro and likes it a lot. Let's see. Don't see Tommy here. But anyway. I'll give Tommy an hour. Here's what I'll do. I'll give Tommy an hour. If Tommy doesn't collect it, I'll tag him. I'm going to tag him right now in this thread. Tommy Terry, you won and have an hour to claim. Okay, so keep an eye on that. If Tommy Terry doesn't make his claim, I'll go ahead and I'll take my cell phone and I'll do a live and just go right down it and pick one out here a little bit later before I leave the shop here. Well, I appreciate everything. Anybody got any questions before I head on here? Appreciate all your support. Let's see. I think this is a great idea, even without a giveaway or anything. A round table end of the week. Not something you see in these groups. Okay, Nate. Hey, I'm game for that, brother. I enjoy it. What's up, Javier from Phoenix? Yeah, you know, I mean, because we could all get it. There's always some kind of good topic going on, right, Nate? So we can grab that good topic. We'll go ahead and break it down a little bit. So anybody who does come in later and doesn't catch it, at least they can read through it and see what they think. Shot, I wouldn't mind you sending me some in a black trash bag with a shipping label. I heard that, Marco. I like that. That's funny right now. Bio worked better than the other two for us. Cool, Dion. I appreciate that. Now remember, Dion, and everybody else needs to remember this. People say, well, how come we got 3 pre-sprays? Well, we got one basically for free and clear, for safe and all natural, and basically most all natural. Then we've got one spike with Grout Master, works on the oxidizer side. Then we've got one that works on the enzyme side. And that's really good to have one of each because it depends on what you're working with inside the home. I'm going to make up and do a little video to show you how to use the different ones. But you definitely want to keep this in mind. The fact is there's 5 different types of soils in America. So with those 5 different types of soils, one product might work better for somebody in one area and another product might work for somebody else in another area. You know, you might have some Georgia red clay or something like that, and you might need maybe something with some spiked in there to get it knocked down. You might have this really filthy polyester, and you need all the polyester cleaner you can get to get the job done. Okay? And then the BioPro, or maybe you're working around some urine or you know, something really nasty. You just really, another thing about the BioPro, make sure you give it time. You know what I mean? Don't just throw it down, hit it, and get it and go. You know, the enzymes need a little time to work. So give them a little bit of time to work, and you'll notice that all 3 of them will do its job and do a great job. Okay, not so dirty, too gross, too pet gross. I know, right, man? We come across them all. That's basically kind of it, right? Though I feel like the spike clean just as good as anything. I feel like they all clean just as good. One little tip and trick somebody told me, a lot of people told me, is that the secret formula, just free and clear, it cleans most everything, but some areas when it won't clean, like traffic patterns, add a little bit of citrus salt, and it cleans it up like a champ. Can we use any of these on upholstery? Yes, Chad, but remember, and I want to talk about that a little bit later. Somebody had brought up in the group today. What's up, Terry? You won. Claim your prize, brother. You won the bad label. It was a random pick. I just put my finger in there, my eyes closed, and you end up getting it. So claim your prize. All right? So anyway, back to this right here. I totally forgot to say. Oh yeah, just add a little bit of citrusol in there with this. What do we got here? Let's see. How much time for the BioPro 10K, Roger? Roger, appreciate your support, brother. I would probably say, you know, I'd like to give it 20 or 30 minutes. There's nothing wrong with that. Let those enzymes get in there and get to working, especially on polyesters, because on polyesters, remember that oil is then oxidized into the fiber. When it gets stuck down inside that fiber. Okay, Terry, Tommy Terry, he won the prize. Okay, congratulations. And it is BioPro, but remember the label is ugly, Tommy. I don't know if you had heard that somebody I sent this out to, they sent it back to me because they did not like the fact that it was ugly looking, I guess, or bad. Oh yeah, you can add Groutmaster to the Free and Clear. So the two things I hear about the Free and Clear the most, some guys, it cleans most everything. If there's something they don't think it'll clean, a rat nasty or something, or oily place or something like that with dogs, they'll add a little bit of citrusol or a little bit of Groutmaster, and bam, takes care of it. And clients love it when you walk inside the house and you can go through that little list right there, you know. No dyes, no soap, no fragrances, no D-lime, no NTAs, no low-grade materials, no oxidizers, no fillers, 100% free rinsing, no butyls, 99% green, environmentally safe, VOC compliant, you know, and pure concentrate. It's a beast. It's a beast in itself. And remember, they all have polyester cleaners in them, so to help remove those polyesters for you. So Booth with a citrus, powdered ASD, or something similar. It has citrus solvent. Yeah, Nate, you can do that. You can definitely do that. I prefer a liquid myself. Let's see, it's what's inside that counts. Amen to that, Roger. You know, I don't have any fillers, no low quality ingredients. I carry very high quality active ingredients and a very high number of active ingredients in all my products. I just don't take no shortcuts. I know what it's like to be out there sweating bullets and trying to clean carpets and not coming clean. And I found out that on a lot of these really bad carpets, these polyesters and these next generation carpets, you need something nice and strong to get the job done. You're not in my club. I heard that, Brian. Okay, buddy. All right. Talk about the spiked one. The spiked one is a great product, Dion, because it basically has some oxidizers in there. Again, give it a little bit of time to work. You know, don't rush it, and pre-agitation helps quite a bit. Definitely got some Groutmaster in there, and I know some guys, they use it on top of grout too. Works good too because it does have that Groutmaster. It won't work as fast, but it still works good. I'm finding out that people like different products in different places in the country, and a lot of it has to do with because there's 5 different types of soils in America, and you just don't know what's going to work the absolute best in your area. They all work great, but one might work better in your area because of the different soil conditions that you have that's working out there. But I'm going to do a video strictly on pre-sprays, talking about all the pre-sprays, and I think that'll help a bunch. What about the lowest score on 18? My lowest score on 18, I was, at one time I was playing golf probably 3 to 5 times a week. When I was doing that, I was down to a 4 handicap. And most times I can shoot in the high 70s, low 80s. Even today I can still do that. But at that time, the lowest rounds I ever had, and had in a tournament, I shot a 68, a 69, and a 73. And I thought, I was really happy with that. So that was really nice. Really enjoyed that. But believe me, I can't do that today. But I can still shoot in the upper 70s, lower 80s, and every once in a while have a lower 70. But I think my 60s days are gone for sure. Except in a couple years, I'll have my 60s back, age-wise. Yeah, great. All right, well, I finished that, so maybe it's about time to go. Yep, this is my 19th hole right here, Brandon. Yep. So if anybody gets a chance to come here and play some golf. Oh, yeah, I mentioned, don't forget, guys, I mentioned about having a TMF Fest and a charity golf tournament. So we're working on that for this year. And I'd like you guys to help me pick the charity that you'd like to put it towards, you know. Yeah, a $2,000 day celebrating. Good Lord, yes, you did win. He won and he had a $2,000 day. Hey, can I get a job with you, Tommy? Let's see, Rob, you guys should make a chart of all your sprays and what they're good for at some point in the future. Excuse me. Matt, you're reading my mind, brother. You're reading my mind. Yep, Matthew, beer on, no doubt about it. excuse me. You're reading my mind, pal. I'm definitely planning on doing that. And I don't want to give too much away, but we definitely have something coming in the next week or two that I think will be right on point. So I appreciate that tip. What do we got here? Danuba Carpet Pros. Interesting. Okay. Matt Doc, good idea. Yeah, I agree too, Dion. No doubt about it, my man. Good idea to have something. Something's coming. Just don't want to say what it is. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag right away, you know, if I can avoid that. All right, any other questions, guys, before I go ahead and wrap this up? And I do like the idea of once a week or so, and maybe just kind of taking a hot topic, and we'll go right through it. I'm trying to drink more. There's nothing left in there. I have to run and get myself another one here in a second. Commenting on your photo. Yeah, Tommy, so you got that, Tommy. I'll try to get it out to you as fast as possible. I know we have your address, Tommy, but if you would. What's up, Victor? Glad to have you, man. Maybe if you're just getting late right now, in here late, we're talking about Truckmount Fires. There's the information. I'm going to leave this up in the thread. Anybody's welcome to watch this afterwards, okay? And anyway, I do like the idea of doing this because, hey, I think it's good for all of us. Remember, iron sharpens iron. Every one of us are at different levels, but it doesn't even make. But we're all still works in progress. So nobody's better than the other person. We're just at different levels. And the whole point about TMF is trying to raise that level, raise everybody's level, make them better cleaners by making. Hey, thanks, Roger. I appreciate that. You too, brother. Really appreciate all your support, Roger. You have a good weekend too, also, Matt. So anyway, remember, iron sharpens iron. Let's continue to make each and every one of us better at what we do. You have a good weekend too, Tommy. And let's make this industry an industry we can be proud of, that we can pass on to our children and our grandchildren, which was my motivation of starting the whole forum, the YouTube, the Facebook, everything of that nature right there. It's all because I want to pass on something better to my lineage, and we can all make more money in the process. Well, I'm Rob Allen, which you already know. Have yourself a great day, guys.